Welcome to the cafediscopodcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chad, alongside my co-host, Nozama and Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it guys doing?
All right. So, we do this movie segment every week that we forgot to do last week. So we're already dropping the ball already. And so we're not going to be talking about that this week. But we do have our movies that we're going to watch this week and put in for next week. So, do you guys know your movies? I'm watching John Wick because someone thinks it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Two people think it's a great movie.
Nozama
Is watching Inception.
Inception, which I've never seen either.
So I'm gonna.
I don't like Leonardo DiCaprio very much.
What?
Who do you like?
Is this another?
Not many people.
Is this another Christian Bale situation?
No, it's not. He's not nowhere near as bad as that drug addict.
Drug addict.
Leo's good, man, and Inception is a great movie.
And you're watching.
You're probably gonna like it.
What's that movie? Little Boy, right?
Little Boy.
Yeah, which is an awesome movie. So yeah, we'll be doing that next week. We do that. We're going to be doing it every week. So if we're talking about movies that are 2 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, that's why we're doing it.
It's because we haven't seen all of those movies, and some of the classics we might have just missed. And Nozama.
I haven't seen a lot of it yet.
Yeah, Nozama's not. He's not originally from here.
Man, I've been here since I was 8.
I said originally. So you haven't. So there's a lot of classic films that you haven't seen before.
That are old, yes.
Yeah, that are old. Yeah.
Nozama, I want to point out that your microphone's literally blocking your face. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, that's good.
Now our arms are touching, but it's okay.
Well, it's okay, yeah.
All right. So this whole segment would have been that. We don't have that. So I grabbed a little piece of news. This has nothing to do with movies at all. But I thought it would be interesting to discuss because it's gotten like 24 million views in the past 24 hours of this girl. Have you seen it, Nozama? This girl that is a YouTuber. I don't even know her name. I don't even want to put her name out there because she's already getting enough hate as it is. Mm-hmm. Where she was doing a video with her dog.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
Did you watch the video?
Yeah.
Okay, Mike hasn't seen it. I have it here. I'm going to show him. I don't think it is animal abuse. But I'm interested to see what Mike thinks. So, let me pull it up.
Wow.
So, I'm going to say, I'm probably going to disagree with you.
You might not be able to hear very well because of the headphone situation, but you'll probably will disagree. That's fine. So, she slapped the dog in the face there. I don't know if you saw it. She did not punch him. She slapped him.
Okay. There's more?
Yeah, there's more. There's more. And if you're listening to the podcast, you're just going to have to look at our YouTube video or just go look it up.
Yeah.
All right.
She's grabbing her arm, so she hurt her arm. She did something in there.
And I'm assuming she doesn't realize that she's still recording? Or she does?
I don't think she did. Stop! Yeah. That's going too
far. That's going too far.
Yeah. And she just spit in the dog's face.
Yeah.
That's going too far.
So, yeah.
So she spit in the dog's face. You could hear it, but our audio is not working for some reason.
So, how do you not realize that you're recording? She's talking to the camera.
She's trying to get a clip done, and she's just stopping and like trying to get it done each time, like an intro or an outro or whatever. And the dog just wants to play.
So she beats the crap out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's doing what a dog does.
Yeah. Then she walks. Yeah. You can see her reflection in the TV. She's doing something to the dog. I don't know. Yeah. That's pretty much the whole clip, though. There's nothing else besides that.
Apparently, she was having like a bad day, but that's no reason to speak to the dog like that.
I want to dissect this.
No excuse.
As shortly as we can because I have so much to discuss this week. So I'm just going to put it out there. That's not animal abuse.
You're wrong.
It's not nice. It's not nice. It's mean. Okay? It's mean. And it's wrong. But I would not say it's animal abuse. It's not animal neglect and it's not animal abuse.
I would say that it's not animal neglect, no. But it is animal abuse. She's striking the dog for no reason.
She didn't hit him. She smacked him. Well, with your children, you're allowed to do open hand. What's the difference?
Well, it's different. You don't open hand them in the face.
No, not usually.
So you don't open hand them in the face, whether it's an open hand or not. I think it's a little too far to do something like that for no reason. I mean, the dog was being a dog. It wanted to play. The dog doesn't know that you're trying to make a YouTube clip.
Yeah, the bottom line is she shouldn't have tried to do the video with the dog at all. No. She didn't have the patience for it.
Yeah,
but I would say that is not animal abuse.
It kind of is.
That is just losing your patience, losing your temper. The dog's not hurt by any means. The dog is not in the corner crying. The dog is totally fine. The dog probably still wants to play with her after that.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't mean that it's not. It doesn't mean that it's not abuse, whether it's 1 hit or it's 20 hits. If I walk up to somebody that's 6'6" and jacked, and I slap them in the face, just because they don't necessarily are probably going to feel that. It's probably going to feel like a tickle because I'm such a small guy. But it doesn't mean that it's not assault.
Okay, so we disagree. I don't think it's abuse. But do you think that now these people are going on trying to get to get an investigation on her, and they want the dog to be taken away from her and even press charges against her for animal abuse? Do you think that's going too far?
I would say that based off that one clip, no. But I think if they look into it and they see that it's happened a lot, or somehow they find out that she has been beating it for no reason, then I would say, yeah, it needs to be taken away from her.
Definitely, in my opinion.
Why didn't I hear that?
So that's my opinion on the matter. But see, we are very different when it comes to that. Yeah, and the spitting and the spitting in the dog and the dog's face. That's
disrespectful.
I mean, that's another.
The spitting was a little far,
excessive.
Although hilarious, a little far.
See,
that's excessive.
It is. It's excessive. I mean, slapping it in the face was far enough, and then you spit in its face. She's lucky the dog didn't rip her face off.
And that's why I'm saying that I don't think it's abuse. The dog's obviously taken care of. The dog obviously loves her.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying she slapped the dog, she held it down forcefully to the ground and spit in its face. If the dog did bite her face off, I wouldn't care. It wouldn't bother me one bit. She deserves it at that point.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I just don't think that... First of all, it's nobody's business, but she was such an idiot to put it up before watching it. Like, it's kind of her own fault. Maybe she does deserve some punishment just for being so stupid. Not necessarily what she did with the dog, but just teach her a lesson on how stupid she was.
Yeah.
To not look at her crap before she put it out there. But I'm just not as sensitive to those things. So. I don't think beating animals is nice or good, but there's a huge difference between getting irritated with your dog and doing that and what actual animal abuse is, where they're not fed, they're neglected, they get beaten with a belt for not... That is animal abuse.
Yeah.
They get left outside where their skin is manged and falling off around their neck because they're never, the collar's too tight, they have choke collar on. That is animal abuse. What she did, not animal abuse. Mean, yes. Wrong, yes.
Well, yeah, but... So, which I kind of know where you stand with this, but let's say, and I know we got a lot to get to, but so maybe we can wrap it up with this point. But if
gonna have the last word, I see.
No, I'm asking you a question. So, she open hand slapped the dog in the face. If you were to do that, or if someone were to do that to their child, would you consider that child abuse?
I don't think I would. And I'm going to tell you this because growing up, I have been smacked in the face. Okay?
Yes, yeah.
Have you been smacked in the face as a kid?
Probably.
Yeah, exactly. It's not child abuse.
But it's different. I mean,
now, punched in the face, that's abuse.
Yeah. You
smacked in the mouth for telling your mom to shut up, that's not abuse. That's not abuse.
That's true.
Now, you're not allowed to do that nowadays.
That's what I was just about to bring that up.
Which I disagree with.
Times have changed immensely since then, so... But still, I don't think it's right.
These kids nowadays need to actually be hit, though. So yeah. Sadly.
Yeah. It's not just once in a while punch in the face.
I know things are a lot different from where you come from. We can't do that. We can't do that here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end with that because we could go on for an hour arguing about that. All right, this is our movie section of the podcast. We're gonna try to keep it just to movies and TV shows, no politics or anything like that. So Marvel is going to be doing. It's confirmed that they're doing Deadpool, Spider-Man, and a Wolverine combined movie, and they plan on doing 9 Spider-Man films with this current Spider-Man.
Yeah,
9.
Waste.
That is a little
That's
crazy.
excessive right there.
Now that being said, I am excited for the Deadpool Spider-Man Wolverine movie, depending on who they get to play Wolverine, because it's not going to be Hugh Jackman, obviously.
Then it's not
going to be Mr. Hugh.
Mr. Hugh. Mr. Hugh Jackman. No, I don't know. Has there been casting for?
There's no casting except for Ryan Reynolds is.
Well, yeah. I mean for Wolverine.
Not for Wolverine, no.
Who's going to talk him though?
They're going to be doing their X-Men movie, so I would assume they'll develop the character there, and then they'll do the. Because in the comics, that's a thing. Like, they have a mashup. I'm not familiar with it, but...
Yeah, there's been a lot of team-ups. But, I don't know. The Spider-Man thing, I think Tom Holland has had too many movies, as it is.
He's not that bad.
He's been in much more than 2. Huh? He's been in much more than 2.
Well, I said he's had too many. His 2 solo movies were...
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
the Avengers, too.
Well, yeah, I know. But the Avengers, he had people carrying his weight.
Sure.
And in Civil War.
I
actually liked him in Civil War.
Why? Because he wasn't in it hardly at all?
Yeah. But that's about it.
I think he's an okay Spider-Man.
He's really not that bad, though.
He is. Tom Holland, I think, for me, as Spider-Man, is... That is my Christian Bale as Batman. No.
But Tom Holland's not a bad guy.
To me, in my opinion, Tobey is the worst Spider-Man, in my opinion.
I'd have Tom Holland and Tobey close.
Listen, Mike.
I set the rules, and you follow them blindly. Okay?
Yes, I know. This is your episode. Take the helm. No, but the Wolverine thing would be depends on who they get to play it.
Yeah, I'm actually excited about it. But
so who will?
Depends on who plays Wolverine.
Do you have anyone in mind that you think would be good? No.
No one's gonna top him.
I mean, it would be tough for somebody to come in after he's done so many movies and be able to.
They're gonna ruin.
Keep up.
They're gonna get a terrible person. I know.
Oh yeah.
They're not gonna get who they should get. I'm sure. I don't have anyone in mind though.
Probably.
So, you guys, Nizama, have you watched the 100? I know
yes.
You have watched it.
The beginning of it, I kind of started to.
Okay, Mike watched it and then he stopped for whatever reason.
Same here.
I'm up to date. It's ending on season 7, and this was written by Rothenberg, which is one of the directors. With the 100 season 6 finale just a few days away, I have some bittersweet news to share. Season 7 will be our last. We are eternally grateful to WB and CW for always allowing us to tell our story the way we want to and to wrap the show on our terms. What an incredible ride it has been. He put that on Twitter. Just dropped it.
Nobody knew about this until then?
Yeah. What a great show. If anybody listening to this has not watched the 100, watch the 100. All of it.
I honestly don't care about the 100 though.
It's good. I think.
And they're ending it without dragging it out, which is awesome.
I think I watched the first 3 seasons, maybe the 4th. I can't exactly remember. It's been a while, but I liked it. But it was kind of like the same thing. It was like the same thing every season.
Well, I mean,
where it was like, first they're trapped out, in the open. They make this like a colony almost, and then you find out in the next season. Isn't that where you find out that they get to the mountain? Yeah, and there's the mountain, colony. And there's another colony in there, and then you find out that the mountain people are the bad people, and they get out. They go outside again, and now they're outside again. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. It's good. It's a good show. It's good, but I would have to watch the rest of it before I could make a final judgment.
Like I say, I kind of stopped at 2. So yeah, the first one was great to me. After that, I just kind of lost.
No.
Interest in it, so yeah.
I have a feeling this might be a little bit of a big topic, okay?
No.
And I'm just going to say this is what we should do with this.
It's simple. Kill the Batman.
Oh my God.
That's what we should do.
That's what we should do with.
According to cinematographer Robert Richardson, Affleck's version of the Batman would have explored Batman's grip on sanity and focus on Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
That's what it would have been. Which would have been awesome. I would have been behind it. That's the thing that pisses me off the most. That's the one Batman storyline I'd want to see.
Or in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, and it's gone.
So this would have been
Affleck's.
The script that Affleck wrote.
Yeah. Well, he had a part in it.
Yeah. That is good. I like that. But I think the next Batman is going to be pretty good because it's going to be. No, hear me out. It's going to be. I'm not even talking about the acting and who they got to be Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm talking about the story itself because from what I've seen and heard, it's going to be focused more on the detective side of Batman and him being a masterful detective, and it's not going to be as heavy on like the the vigilante aspect of it.
That sounds awful boring.
No, it's awesome.
No, it sounds really boring. Sounds just as boring as Gotham.
We've never seen that. we've never really seen that side of Batman, which will be fresh. But yeah, I agree that the Arkham Asylum side of it would have been cool.
Okay, well here's some information on Little Robbie's version. Okay.
Oh god.
The film will reportedly be set in the 90s and kick off the new Batman trilogy. Rumors point to a large cast of villains including Penguin, Catwoman, Riddler, Two-Face, and Mad Hatter.
Great.
So we went from a unique storyline of Affleck's to the one that we've done 1,000 times already.
Over and over and over and over.
No, it depends on what they're doing with it. What do you mean it's been done over and over again?
We've had these.
Penguin,
the only one we haven't had is Mad Hatter, I guess.
Yeah.
Penguin has been in one movie. Who else did you say?
Two-Face.
Two-Face, Riddler. The Riddler's been in one movie.
Catwoman needs to be done.
Yeah.
How many times can you ruin it?
Okay, Riddler.
Besides Michelle Pfeiffer.
Riddler, Penguin have been in one movie. Two-Face has been in 2 movies, and he was barely in the Dark Knight. So I don't see where you're getting this over and over and over.
It would have been so cool to do that. I'm hung up on. I would have liked to saw the insane side of Batman. There's definitely, when you go through all that stuff that he goes through, especially if you look at Bale's movies, if you go through all the depression, you would think that it would do something to his mind. He would be crazy.
You would think,
and you would like to see that, but now we're not going to see it.
And I'm not disagreeing with you that it would have been great to see. I was excited that Affleck was going to write the script for the Batman because he's a fantastic writer. He's a much better writer than he is an actor.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But I would have liked to see the insanity side of Batman, which the Mad Hatter would have been a great villain for that.
Yeah. And
the Scarecrow, because the Scarecrow has the fear toxin and everything, which kind of drives you insane over time.
And Scarecrow hasn't been done correctly yet.
He wasn't that bad. He wasn't even really that big of a part either.
I don't want to go back to things that we've discussed in the past because people might not have heard it before, but you wanted to go on about Kylo Ren being a wimp and how he looks. Look at Scarecrow.
Yeah, but Scarecrow's never been like jacked.
No, he looks like a little whiny emo baby.
He's a scientist. That's what he is.
That was stupid. All right.
Agree to disagree.
That's our movie segment. That's all I got for movies. We're going to move on to games. I have a ton of crap for games. So the PS4 just hit 100 million units sold and now is the 4th best-selling home console. PS2 is the first with 155 million, then PlayStation 1 at 102 million, and then the Wii at 101 million. Soon the PS... I'll tell you in a minute. Soon, PS4 will outsell the Wii and PS1 and be the second highest-selling console ever. Just a side note, Xbox 360, Microsoft's most popular console, 84 million.
Wow.
So not even close. Huh?
Not even close. So Sony's about to be in the top, all their consoles are going to be in the top pretty soon.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Xbox is... I'm going to...
It's trash.
Xbox is garbage. I mean, Xbox 360 was okay, and they still only had a few titles that were even worth anything.
That's true. Exclusive wise, yeah.
Yeah, exclusive. Which is, to me, that's where you got to make the distinction. Because most of the graphics from one to the next is almost identical, from what I can tell. I know people are diehard that no, Xbox is better graphics, but
Well,
I don't see it.
They enjoyed the controller and the online because PS3 really dropped the ball for the online. PS4 they kind of redeemed themselves.
Yeah.
The Xbox One's probably the worst purchase I've made in my whole entire life.
Well, I have some news for you. Maybe you'll be able to use it.
Okay.
Paperweight?
No?
Paperweight?
No. So, it just turned August, so we're getting free games for PS Plus. Mike, you're not a PS Plus member, so just sit there and look
Hey,
pretty.
it's never too late.
All right, well, we're not getting anything great this month, so don't do it this month.
Okay.
We're getting Wipeout Omega Collection and Sniper Elite Force.
Got that both of it.
Or Elite 4, sorry.
Yeah.
So I have the descriptions of the games. I don't know if it would be boring to read through it. Wipeout is a racing game. Sniper Elite's a shooting game. I'm not going to read it all. Sniper Elite is about killing Nazis. That's kind of cool, but the mechanics aren't that great, so I wouldn't download it.
You've never played Wipeout before?
I have.
Oh, okay.
I haven't. Not the collection.
Oh.
This is going to be. It's going to be 3 games: Wipeout 2048, Wipeout HD, and Wipeout HD Fury Expansion. Whatever. So I don't know.
Whatever.
These are pretty lame games, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't like them too much.
Well, no, I'm not saying that Wipeout's lame. I'm saying that those are lame games to get for free. We normally get good stuff. Those are not that great.
Yeah.
Right.
And Xbox is kind of knocking it out of the park this month, honestly. Xbox gives free gold games with their thing. It's the same thing as PS
I canceled
Plus.
my gold though.
Well, sorry. You get Gears of War 4 for free.
I already have that.
Well, I'm just saying, if you didn't. Forza Motorsport 6. Forza is awesome. That's one of the best first-party games that Xbox has, in my opinion.
Gran Turismo is better.
I would disagree, but I know a lot of people would agree with you because there's diehard Gran Turismo fans. That's fine.
Dude,
Don't really care. It's a racing game. It's not that important anyway.
They started it all, man.
Yeah, it's not really that important, Mike.
I'm just saying.
Big Crown Showdown, which is a
The hell is
4-player.
that?
I'm about to tell you, it's a 4-player action game about cruising down a course and slamming into your friends.
Sounds kind of.
So you get that for free, whatever that is. Whatever that is, you get that for free.
Slamming into your friends. Yeah. Good times.
That's what she said.
You get Torchlight on Xbox 360 and Xbox One, which is a Diablo style. Oh, you might like that, Nozama. You like those games.
They're not that bad, so yeah.
Diablo style RPG. And then you get Castlevania Lords of Shadow for free.
There's a good title.
But there's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of games. That's
in
way
one
better
month?
than PlayStation's lineup this month. I will
This
say.
month,
Yeah. Yeah, but what? It's 1 month.
It is.
What about every other month? And every other exclusive.
Depends on Sony's month. Exclusives, yes. Sony's definitely got them.
Yeah,
Just saying, as far as what you get for free. So, where are we at? I want to check my time. All right. So, China tariffs. PlayStation consoles might get more expensive for shoppers in the United States.
I thought about that.
During an earnings call today, not today, but whenever this was written, Sony's chief financial advisor, Hiroki Totorki,
I think just butchered that name.
Totorki.
said it will need to increase its price of PlayStation consoles sold in America if President Trump's proposed tariffs on electronics made in China, including game consoles, do indeed go through. This was reported by the Wall Street Journal.
So, that could be
bad.
detrimental, yeah.
Yeah.
They're predicting a 25% price increase on the consoles if the tariffs goes through. Likely put game consoles out of reach of many American families who would be expected to be in the market this holiday season. Nintendo is already reportedly preparing to move its stuff over to out of China to get away from the tariffs.
Hey, way to go, Nintendo.
And they would be the least likely one. I would think Xbox, Microsoft would be the first to get out.
Yeah.
Because they're an American company.
Yeah, you would think.
But
yeah, kudos to Nintendo on that.
Yeah, but in terms of for the PS4, like around what price would it be? Because $500 is the most I'm willing to spend at once for
I don't know. I mean, they were reporting 400 to 500 is what they were going to try to aim for. But if it's 25% higher, it's probably going to be $700.
That's not gonna happen.
No, it's not.
So this is new consoles or current gen until does this affect everything?
I think
consoles and
it would
games?
affect anything that they produce in China. So if they're planning on producing the next gen in China, it would. And it would affect the current ones.
The current ones that are still on sale.
Yeah.
Which means they're not going to sell because everybody already has them.
Yeah, but does this include games as well?
No.
And all accessories?
Maybe accessories.
Yeah.
But right now they're just talking about the consoles themselves. Because they don't make money on the consoles. They pretty much break even. They make money on the games.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's so far into this current gen that I think sales are probably, I would think, are going to slow down because everybody's already got one.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So if the games stay the same.
I was looking at a study based on the amount of people that own them. Like, I think it's like every person owns like at least 3 PlayStation 4s. If you look at the statistics, because some people own like 10 of them. Yeah,
That's insane.
Yeah.
Why do you need 10 for?
Well, some people they buy like every color that comes out,
special editions. That's a little too far though.
But that could be bad though.
Now, what I'm interested to see if Sony and Microsoft are stupid enough to not pull out of China, allow their consoles to come out at a 25% increase, and Nintendo comes in and says we're making it in America and we're going to be cheaper. What would happen?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Can Sony and move the company here?
I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could. And if they offered incentives like, hey, if you make it in America, we'll give you a tax cut, that would cover some of the loss from getting the cheap labor in China. So I would think that maybe that's something the president could work out with them. Yeah, although he's not really for video games right now, so. That's.
But if Nintendo does that, it's a smart move.
Yep.
So, and I think you're going to see probably, if this carries over to next gen, you're going to see Nintendo be on top as far as console sales. Yeah, at least at the beginning.
If they come out with a console that's half the price, I mean.
Yeah, you're not going to be it's going to be a no-brainer at that point, really.
Yep.
Because I can't afford a $700 or $800
Well, they did that with the PS3. It was like $600 and some, and it did terrible. Yeah. Until they re-released it with a slim model, they were able to cut the price, and then.
To me, I think 500 is probably the most that I'm willing to spend. To me, like the best price for like a console is like around 400.
Yeah, 400 is a sweet spot. Yeah. I will buy it day one at 400. I don't know.
700? I don't know.
I wouldn't do 700.
No. I wouldn't. I wouldn't go more. I would never go more than 500.
No, yeah.
And Nintendo already doesn't go as high as Microsoft and
but it's also not as powerful though. So yeah.
Yeah, but it's got
like the Switch is more powerful than the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and it's still cheaper than they were when they came out.
Yeah, it's like around 300 for the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 300.
So.
But I'll say they generally have a lower price anyway than Xbox and PlayStation does. Now, if this tariff thing affects the consoles, it's going to be a huge gap.
Yep.
And I think it's going to. I think if Sony and Microsoft do not pull out,
it's going to hurt them.
Then it's going to hurt them
really bad.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah. I was waiting for it.
I can't be saying that's what she said through the whole episode.
That would have been perfect.
It would have been.
It fits everything.
It's like that episode where they're on the scale.
Yeah.
It was like the most perfect one of the whole series.
Jim looks at it, like, really? Nothing? Office references.
Yeah. He was in love at that point.
The best show.
That was it. He was in love with that.
Yeah. That's all I have for video games. I don't know if you guys have anything. Have you guys been playing anything? I haven't really.
No. I tried. Well, I did. I tried to play that vampire game again.
Which one?
Because it's called Vampire.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's very creative.
It's like, wow. Okay.
Very straightforward. You know what you get when you buy it. Just by the name. But no, I tried it when I first got it, and I couldn't get into it. I tried it again, still can't get into it. I don't know what it is. It's just the gameplay is like clunky and.
Well, I think they lost a lot of money on that because they still haven't dropped the price of it. It's still expensive. I haven't played anything besides Borderlands, and I haven't played it much.
I was thinking of trying Days Gone because it's like a low price right now.
Yeah, you love dropping that money.
Man, stop it.
It's still not cheap enough for me.
It's like $32 right now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's high.
Yeah, it is. I want 20.
Really?
$19.99.
Yeah, $19.99 is a sweet spot.
The game
for
came
game
out
prices
like
for me.
Not too long ago, man.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been that big. People have kind of done talking about it. So.
Well, true.
Yeah. Plus, it had a rough launch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if all that stuff, if they didn't have all those problems and the bugs and everything, I think people would have been talking about it a lot longer than they were.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the video game section. I guess we can go into politics. So, warning: if you don't like politics and you don't agree with our stance on things, which is conservative, in case you didn't know, then just turn it off and save yourself from everything.
And a meltdown.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
All right. The first part of this political section, which is not really that political, but we're going to read the Second Amendment and we're going to dissect it and put our opinions out on what we think it means. So I'm going to read it. It was passed by Congress on September 25th, 1789, so a little bit after we were established. And it reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Militia, in case you don't know, because I didn't know it first, is a military force that is raised from the civil population to supplement a regular army in an emergency.
Exactly. Who are we going to first?
Well, I mean, the commas are very important here too, because a well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary, well, they're saying the militia is necessary to have security in the United States. So having citizens own weapons and protect people is necessary to have a free state.
Yes.
It's the right of people to keep their guns on them, bear them, so on them at all times.
Mm-hmm.
It shall not be infringed, meaning no matter who's in office or what political party's in office, it should never be infringed and it should never be stepped on. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people get this twisted, and now they just want to reform it. They're saying they want to repeal it.
Yeah. No, they don't want reform. They want repeal.
Yeah, they want repeal.
They don't want it to exist.
Right.
Which, that's the first step in tyrannical government. When your government strips the weapons away from the populace, it takes away the people's power to fight any form of tyranny.
Yeah.
Plus, okay, one thing. You own a house, and somebody happens to break into your house. God forbid, like, you don't have a gun. We're, like, supposed to wait for the cops to get to your house? By then, like, you might be dead.
Well, what would you do? You don't have a gun.
Well, I also don't have a house either, but yeah.
Still have a place. You still have an apartment.
But yeah.
You make
When I
people.
do have a house, I'm definitely gonna buy a gun though.
Yeah.
You're making people.
And I'm definitely not gonna wait for like a cop to come and like save me. So no.
Well,
Just so we're clear, Nozama has an apartment. It's not like he's
Where he
living
can still
living in his car or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Right,
He-
exactly.
you do know you can.
I don't have a house. I just don't live anywhere. You know. Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
own
you
a gun in an
Almost,
apartment.
so yeah.
Yeah, you have an apartment. You can still own a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't say anything. You got to convince your wife to
Oh,
like.
she's convinced right now. Well, she's not. She's more forward now, so yeah.
Well, that's good.
You just tell her. You say,
I set the rules and you follow them
you understand?
blindly.
Yeah, that ain't gonna
Okay?
happen.
You understand?
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
You should try it just to see what happens, and then let us know.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
She listen to this podcast?
Sometimes, yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, ask my wife. I'm joking.
So, yeah, I don't know how people get the Second Amendment twisted. It's pretty straightforward. If you know the placement, like you mentioned, the placement of the commas, which is very important, and you know how it's structured, it's pretty straightforward.
Well, they went from twisting it and making it so that we're not reading it right to now they know we're reading it right, and they're just like you said, they just
don't like it.
They just get rid of it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't exist. It was made in a different time, and they only had
that's another thing.
muskets at the time. That's not true.
No, that's not true.
I mean, they were allowed to legally own cannons
Yeah.
and take them wherever they wanted.
Yeah.
What's the difference? A cannon could do a mass killing. You know?
Oh yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
difference.
Yeah, that's one of the big arguments is that, you know, it was written hundreds of years ago. They didn't have AR-15s. That's another one they like. AR-15s.
But they did have
That's a-
similar, not AR-15s, but they had like a handgun that shot several rounds all at one time.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they had all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and it was all perfectly legal to own.
Right. There was no
Which
restrictions on it.
It still should be.
To me, in my opinion, like you guys been saying, if more people carry guns with them, in my opinion, there would be less mass shootings. In my opinion,
Well, there might not be less mass
There
shootings,
might
but
not
you would be
there
able to
less-
stop it.
Exactly,
It would-
less
it would-
casualties though.
They wouldn't be as bad
Right.
because the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
Yeah.
So-
Whether that's police or citizens, I mean,
Yeah.
that's how it stops.
Because you can't if you're out, especially if you're somewhere that's secluded and something happens in a group of people and the police get called, there's still a response time. Depending on where you are, that response time could be minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And for those entire minutes, whatever's happening is going to continue to happen unless somebody there has the ability and the resources to stop it before the cops get there.
Yeah. So I want to discuss, too, the mass shootings that happened and our opinions on the matter. I don't want to give too much attention to it because I was talking with a friend the other day, and the worst thing to do is to give attention to this stuff because that's what a lot of these mass shooters are looking for. They want attention. They want everybody to be talking about them.
Well, that's what.
Yeah.
Well, when I think one good thing that when we talk about this, we do not mention their names
Right.
Yeah,
at all.
Right.
yeah, but then you have some news networks who actually show like a picture of the guy and everything like that with like his name. I mean, come on now.
Well, he's just, even though he's dead, like at that point, when you're going to do a mass shooting, assuming that nothing's rigged, I'm not going to get into conspiracies. It's not going to do it. But you are suicidal at that point. You are suicidal.
Yeah.
You know that you are either going to kill yourself or you're going to get killed in the process or you're going to be arrested and probably have the death penalty.
Yeah.
You are suicidal at that point.
You're going to be dead at one point or another.
So instead of being boring and hanging yourself or shooting yourself in the head in your bedroom, you decide to get some attention out of it first.
Yeah.
And I'm suffering so bad, let me take everybody else out with me. As many people as I can anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense, but I think there's the act of being suicidal, but there's something else on top of that.
Yeah.
Because suicidal is one thing. If you take yourself out, it's sad, tragic, but to go one step further or several steps further and say, I'm going to kill 20 people and then either kill myself afterwards or, suicide by police, that's a whole nother league of something's wrong in the brain.
Yeah.
I want to get you guys' opinion on this.
Speak a little closer.
Yeah. What do you guys think when like people say that this mass shooting is a white person problem? Like it's all white people, it's all Trump's support and everything like that. For someone to throw out that big, blatant statement that makes no sense whatsoever.
You know why they do it.
Right. There's a narrative. But if you look at the mass shootings, there's been 253 mass shootings this year.
Yeah.
They count anything where 4 people or more are injured. They don't have to be killed, injured.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to count that, I would say that the black population probably dominates it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those happen in Chicago, in Baltimore, inner cities.
Gang-related shootings.
Gang-related shootings, drug-related shootings. And not trying to be racist, but most of the time, it is black people.
But they don't look at that though.
They won't look at that. And it's not even put out there on the news.
No,
They'll use the little fact of 255 mass shootings this year, 53, whatever, but they'll never say like what that is
consist of.
consists of.
They'll hone in on the 2 that just happened, and
Well,
Other
now they're
ones
honing
are
in on just one.
Yeah, because one of them was not. Trump
well, yeah, one of them.
Exactly.
They don't like the one.
Yeah, they're turning a blind eye to that one.
Yeah. Well, they don't like the story behind it. The one guy who has the white supremacist, what do they call it? What's the thing again?
Manifesto.
Manifesto.
Yeah.
So they're using that one. But then the other guy was a Warren supporter
Socialist.
and was a socialist, and he was in a.
And
have you heard of this?
Was he Antifa?
He was pro Antifa. I don't think he was in Antifa. But you like music. Have you ever heard of porncore?
No,
I was reading that he was in a porncore band, which a porncore band apparently is like metal music, but they sing just about raping and torturing women. It's called porncore. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. But that was what he was in.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
I mean, he kills on sister, so yeah, he's sick.
Yeah. He's very sick, but they don't want to talk about that one at all. All they want to talk about is the one in El Paso, which I'm not for all this crap blaming Trump, blaming Elizabeth Warren. I wouldn't blame either one of them. They had nothing to do with the mental capacity.
Exactly. You can't blame one person for what somebody else did. Trump didn't physically tell him, "Hey, go shoot those people." Come on now.
Well, they're blaming his rhetoric, saying that he's so hate-filled. He's filling people with hate. He incites it. So I want to read some things real quick that you can let me know if you think this is hate-filled or not.
Which is not true.
Completely not true.
Listen, if they bring a knife to the fight, we bring a gun. I want you to argue with them and get in their face. I don't want to quell anger. I think people are right to be angry, and I'm angry. We're going to punish our enemies.
That was not my job.
But that was Obama.
That was Obama.
Obama. Yeah.
That was Obama.
Yeah. Exactly.
That sounds a bit hateful.
Yeah.
Slightly.
I'm fine with all that speech. To be clear,
it sounds hateful.
But if you want to talk about rhetoric, for the past 8 years before Trump, we were getting that same hate rhetoric, just out of a different person, different skin color, and different political party, and it wasn't being brought forward.
Yeah. Well, you can't blame somebody for one of the people that like them or a fan of theirs if they do something crazy. You can't blame, just like you can't blame Trump for the guy in El Paso. You can't blame Warren for the guy in Ohio. Just like you shouldn't, or people shouldn't have, if they did, blamed Obama for the shooting where 5 cops were killed in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
However many years ago, it was like 2015, I think, or 2014. You shouldn't attribute something that a crazy person does to a person that they follow or they're a fan of politically or any entertainment, anything.
Can you blame Heath Ledger for the Joker shooting at the Batman filming?
No.
Oh, okay.
You would probably blame Christian Bale though.
We should blame him.
Yes. Terrible. Oh. No, it's crazy. It's crazy to blame somebody. Even if somebody is saying things like what you just read, that shouldn't, unless that person is explicitly telling somebody else to go harm somebody, that should not be a problem.
You know something?
It's free speech.
I'm gonna sound completely stupid right now, but deep down, I really think they want this to happen. They want something bad to happen just so that they can actually blame it on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I deeply feel like they want bad things to happen just so they could say aha, you see? And that is sad, really.
Well, that's why they're doing what they're doing. They're trying to take every bad thing that happens and say, "Oh, it's Trump's fault."
Exactly.
It's dishonest and it's cowardice. It's ridiculous what the media does or mainstream media, when they put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
How they try and take him down with every little thing. And then none of it seems to work, thankfully. But because I think a lot of people are starting to realize, and they're starting to catch on, what places like, I don't know, can I say their names? Networks, certain networks.
Yeah.
Yeah, what CNN.
And if they don't like it, they should change.
Yeah. What CNN and MSNBC and everybody, they're espousing every night, every hour of every day.
I mean, when you call a man racist 9,000 times over and over again, at some point that word loses value.
Yeah. Especially when you call everybody racist.
Every single body.
The term racist has lost all value.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean anything anymore.
God forbid a white person does not agree with a black person. Racism.
Mm-hmm.
Racism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
And now, I think it was this morning or last night I saw on It was CNN or MSNBC. It was probably both of them.
Oh, you're
But-
watching one of them?
Just
Kudos.
little clips. No, little clips that were in other people's
Oh.
other people's videos. I don't know. I wouldn't watch that.
Nothing
Like,
wrong with it.
I wouldn't put myself through like watching a whole show. So I'll watch like little clips here and there. But now they're having people as their guests actually blaming, or not. They're blaming Trump for the shootings or the shooting, but they're also saying that he's a racist. And now anybody that has ever supported him, or anybody that ever has donated to his campaigns or anything like that, now they're all racist.
Speaking of the
So half the country is a racist apparently.
so the donate stuff. How do you feel of whatever his name is again? The mayor of like Texas, like whatever his name is again, like
Joaquin
Castro.
Castro?
Something? Yeah.
It's Julian Castro's
Yeah.
brother, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go figure.
How does he get away with like releasing those names? Yet nothing is done to him.
That's what I was just referring to. That's doxing people.
It
How's
is.
that
It's
okay?
public knowledge, but it's still wrong to do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And he's,
people could find that information if they want it, but it's a crappy thing for him to put it out there.
He put it out there because he wanted people to do bad things to those
Right.
people.
he said that he only wanted to shame them, but
Shame them for
shame
what?
for supporting or donating to
Supporting the
Trump.
president
Yeah,
of the United
exactly.
States.
Okay.
Because they think that he's a racist, which is absurd. But I forgot where I was going with that. I just drew
You
a
had to
blank.
interrupt. I was on.
Yeah.
Well, have you guys watched the speech that Trump gave after the?
Little clips. Was not a big fan of it, but yeah.
Did you watch it enough that we don't need to watch it here, or should we watch it? It's like 6 minutes.
I don't think we need to. I mean, I saw little clips. I saw where he went through the points that he wanted to.
All right. Well,
Address.
we're gonna put in a video right here.
and white supremacy. These sinister ideologies must be defeated. Hate has no place in America. Hatred warps the mind, ravages the heart, and devours the soul. We have asked the FBI to identify all further resources they need to investigate and disrupt hate crimes and domestic terrorism, whatever they need. We must recognize that the internet has provided a dangerous avenue to radicalize disturbed minds and perform demented acts. We must shine light on the dark recesses of the internet and stop mass murders before they start. The internet, likewise, is used for human trafficking, illegal drug distribution, and so many other heinous crimes. The perils of the internet and social media cannot be ignored, and they will not be ignored. In the 2 decades since Columbine, our nation has watched with rising horror and dread as one mass shooting has followed another, over and over again, decade after decade. We cannot allow ourselves to feel powerless. We can and will stop this evil contagion. In that task, we must honor the sacred memory of those we have lost by acting as one people. Open wounds cannot heal if we are divided. We must seek real bipartisan solutions. We have to do that in a bipartisan manner that will truly make America safer and better for all. First, we must do a better job of identifying and acting on early warning signs. I am directing the Department of Justice to work in partnership with local, state, and federal agencies, as well as social media companies, to develop tools that can detect mass shooters before they strike. As an example, the monster in the Parkland High School in Florida had many red flags against him, and yet nobody took decisive action. Nobody did anything. Why not? Second, we must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace. It is too easy today for troubled youth to surround themselves with a culture that celebrates violence. We must stop or substantially reduce this, and it has to begin immediately. Cultural change is hard, but each of us can choose to build a culture that celebrates the inherent worth and dignity of every human life. That's what we have to do. Third, we must reform our mental health laws to better identify mentally disturbed individuals who may commit acts of violence and make sure those people not only get treatment, but when necessary, involuntary confinement. Mental illness and hatred pulls the trigger, not the gun. Fourth, we must make sure that those judged to pose a grave risk to public safety do not have access to firearms, and that if they do, those firearms can be taken through rapid due process. That is why I have called for red flag laws, also known as extreme risk protection orders. Today, I'm also directing the Department of Justice to propose legislation ensuring that those who commit hate crimes and mass murders face the death penalty, and that this capital punishment be delivered quickly, decisively, and without years of needless delay. These are just a few of the areas of cooperation that we can pursue. I am open and ready to listen and discuss all ideas that will actually work and make a very big difference. Republicans and Democrats have proven that we can join together in a bipartisan fashion to address this plague. Last year, we enacted the Stop School Violence and Fix NICS Acts into law, providing grants to improve school safety and strengthening critical background checks for firearm purchases. At my direction, the Department of Justice banned bump stocks. Last year, we prosecuted a record number of firearms offenses. But there is so much more that we have to do. Now is the time to set destructive partisanship aside, so destructive, and find the courage to answer hatred with unity, devotion, and love. Our future is in our control. America will rise to the challenge. We will always have, and we always will, win. The choice is ours, and ours alone. It is not up to mentally ill monsters. It is up to us. If we are able to pass great legislation after all of these years, we will ensure that those who were attacked will not have died in vain. May God bless the memory of those who perished in Toledo. And may God protect them. May God protect all of those from Texas to Ohio. May God bless the victims and their families. May God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I mean, I just didn't like how he blamed video games for that. You can't really blame that, and for all the Republicans and for all the conservatives who actually say that exact same thing, that's where you lose me. Because you can't blame video games for somebody's craziness, really.
I don't think you can blame anything.
You really can't.
Yeah, you can blame something. You can blame the individual that did it.
Right. Well,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
And that's where all of the blame should lay.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
at that person's feet.
His team.
Nothing
really
else.
His team really did him a bad.
They wrote his speech clearly.
And obviously it sucked.
Yeah.
And it was stupid, really.
Well, there was something. I mean, back to what I just said. I don't think you can blame anything besides the individual. He does have a point about certain things, but I don't agree with them. Like, social media has gotten out of hand with all the fake news.
I agree 100%.
The internet has turned into a place where you can get all kinds of demented things. I mean, the porn addiction in America is ridiculous. And it goes so far. It's not just how like it used to be back in the 90s and 80s, which, like, you know about the 80s. Now people are, they get into one thing and that's not enough. And they got to go to the next and they got to keep going up and up and up. And next thing you know, like, people are fantasizing about raping and killing people.
Yeah.
snuff is a thing. So he's right about that. But as far as video games go, and I will say I'm not a fan of Grand Theft Auto 5, even though everybody else in the freaking world is.
It's a great game.
In my opinion, a lot of that game is over the top and unnecessary.
Agreed.
But I don't think that causes any shootings. I don't think that is the culprit behind it, because you don't have any evidence of that. They've done studies and there's no evidence of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree that it is over the top, but that's what video games are supposed to be. It's art. It's art to a degree, but that's what it is. It's not reality.
It's supposed to help you escape reality.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But if you take those things, and you now want to act those things out in reality, again we go back to, I think there's something wrong mentally with people that take that out of the art and into the reality and do those things. Obviously, there's got to be something wrong in the head.
Like if I put on a Spider-Man costume, and
you probably have,
and I went to New York City, and I got on the top of one of the highest skyscrapers and jumped off with my little fake web shooter, and I died. Obviously, would that be Spider-Man's fault? Would that be Sony's fault for putting out a Spider-Man game?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
exactly.
Using that logic, yeah.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. It'd be my fault because I'm stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's something wrong with me. I don't value life.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
I think it's absurd to blame video games. To blame art. Now, and if you go with that logic, if you're going to blame video games, now you got to blame movies. Mm-hmm. You got to blame music.
Yep.
TV shows
for explicit lyrics. You got to blame TV shows.
Yep.
You got to blame everything dealing with art.
For example, like music, the rap music nowadays, it literally talks about is guns and killing people, selling drugs, and God forbid hoes. Excuse my language, but yeah.
Me and Chad are too white to talk about this.
Yeah, everything just went right over my head.
Well, it's true. So tell me, like, can we blame those too?
Yeah, that's using their logic. Yes.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
They won't.
Here's the thing. And maybe this is a double standard on my part, but I feel like that music influences a lot of kids in the ghetto, in the inner cities, to do those kinds of things.
Which it does.
Should we ban that music? No, but I think that on the flip side, that does. And the reason why is because you can look at the study and say, oh my gosh, so many of these young black children are listening to this music, and then they're trying to reenact what they're listening to, and they're sick in the head, but at the same time they are being influenced.
Especially the ones who doesn't have a father figure in their life.
That's what I was just about to bring up. I don't think that you can attribute that to the music. You would have to that would be almost solely attributed to the fact that they don't have the single motherhood rate is so high in that community.
It is.
I don't think you can blame the music, because there's the same, honestly, in heavy metal music. Some of that gets even worse
you just can't
than rap
what
music.
saying, so.
Yeah, but if you look up the lyrics, if you buy the album, the book usually has the lyrics in it. If people still buy albums,
you're so old.
People still buy
Nobody
albums.
buys albums. People download Spotify. They don't buy albums.
People still buy albums.
Yeah.
I mean, vinyls are coming back. Like
old people.
No, man,
40-year-olds.
Vinyls are making a comeback. But I'm saying, my point is, heavy metal, although a lot of it, yes, you can't understand unless you have the lyrics in front of you, are a lot worse than some of the worst metal songs, as far as what the lyrics are saying, are worse than any rap song that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
As far as the brutality,
I know what you're talking about.
The brutality, and when you get into certain like death metal bands and all that,
I wouldn't know because I don't really hear it like that. So yeah.
It can get pretty bad and brutal and explicit, but you can't attribute that and use that to blame anything. Just like I don't think that you should use rap. You shouldn't use movies. You shouldn't use games. You shouldn't use TV shows. It all comes back to the parents.
Now, if you take a kid and you put him in a high class neighborhood, take a black kid. We'll use a black kid in this example. I'm not a racist. Nozama's black.
Yeah.
As you can tell on this episode.
Unless you're listening.
Yeah.
You have to hear his blackness.
How do you hear my blackness? Come on. Well, yeah.
I can barely hear you, man. But if you take a kid and you put him in a nice household with a father and a mother and no drama, none of the street thug life, all that crap.
I can't stand
drama. And then no rap music, okay? No music about pulling out your gun and raping hoes, okay?
Raping hoes.
Whatever they say.
Okay.
Bippity boppity, whatever they say.
Yeah.
Dink and
flicker.
Would that kid have less problems in life than the one that grows up in the ghetto, listens to rap music, doesn't have a father figure? Can we take the music out completely? Or I think the music does influence them, especially when they get a lot of their ideas from it.
So the thing is,
no,
yes and no. To me, like the music, for example, doesn't really impact you if you have if you have like a strong parenting figure in your life. For example, like I was raised by just my mom, and she was tough, so she set me straight. So no amount of like music or friends could influence what I actually do, because my mom set me straight.
That's if and I'm not saying that single mothers are doing a bad job, all of them, but there are some. Like if you have one like you just described, like your mom, who is hardcore and will keep you straight, and doesn't let you stray off on the beaten path.
Beats the snot out of you.
Yeah. So and they are strong, and they're firm in the way that they teach you and raise you. I don't think that I think that is good, but a lot of single mothers are not like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why, naturally women are nurturing. They're not the disciplinarian. That's the male's role in the whole dynamic. So if you don't have the father that does that, or you don't have a mother that is good at doing that as well, I think that's where now you get influenced by these things. So I don't think it's the music that does it. I think it's the lack of.
Yeah, maybe it's not. I mean, I listened to a lot of rap music growing up, believe it or not, even despite my skin color. A lot of it Eminem.
Yeah.
50 Cent.
Makes sense.
A little bit of Lil Wayne. But I never wanted to do the stuff in that music.
Me neither, so.
Yeah. So I think, to me, in my opinion, it comes back to the parenting, which a lot of things do.
Mm-hmm. We also talked about red flag laws. Are you guys aware of what that is? Mike, you probably are. Are you, Nizama?
Yeah.
A little bit, but not really.
I have the definition if you want me to read more.
Mm-hmm.
A red flag law is a gun violence prevention law that permits police or family members to petition a state court to order the temporary removal of firearms from a person who may present danger to others or themselves. A judge makes a determination to issue the order based on statements and actions made by the gun owner in question. Refusal to comply with the order is punishable as a criminal offense. After a set time, the guns are returned to the person for whom they were seized unless another court hearing extends the period of confiscation. So they can take your guns if anybody says that you're mentally unstable.
I mean, don't they have to prove it to?
No.
Okay, now that's where I draw if they could prove that you are and exactly how bad exactly, then yeah. But if they cannot prove it, just go by somebody's word. I don't think it's right for you to take their guns away like that.
See, I have a hard time with this because I am kind of on the same page as you, Nozama, which you just said, but I think that should happen in very rare cases. Very rare cases. Now, if somebody has dementia or schizophrenia or serious psychological issues,
Then yeah, definitely.
then I can see that, because those people don't know typically what they're doing, so anything could happen. But then you go on you're on a slippery slope at that point, because now if you get to the point where you can just have somebody that says, "Oh, I don't like Chad, I don't like you, so I'm gonna I'm gonna petition and bring this up to law enforcement that I think something's wrong with you, and I see to me that something's wrong with you, and now I'm gonna petition to have your guns taken away." And I could, if I'm a lefty and I know that you're conservative and I just don't like you because of your point of view, which is happening more and more each day, I could potentially strip you of your Second Amendment right. And that's the slippery slope that you get into when you allow something to even start in this realm.
Well, and to take it one step further, if you I think that yes, there's a slippery slope, but I doubt that would be the reality of it. It could be, I doubt it. But what happens if you're a liberal, I'm a conservative, we get into a confrontation, we get into a fight, okay? And I'm the conservative, so I beat the crap out of you. I win, okay? Because I'm not a little whiny baby. And then you come and say, "Oh, he's crazy." And they evaluate the situation and be like, "Oh, you're mentally unstable. We need to take all your guns until you can go to court," which could be 6 months from now.
Yeah. That might happen a little more often than what I was talking about.
Right.
But I think in today's climate, I think also what I was saying would happen quite often too.
I think it could get to that point.
The way that people think nowadays, especially with going back to some of the things we talked about earlier, where people are saying now, if you're conservative or you support Donald Trump, just the act of supporting him now, you're a racist. I think that it's not a much larger step for those same people to start accusing people that are on the same side as us as something's wrong with you. I want you to take that person's guns away because I feel unsafe. I live next to you, Chad, and you scare me.
You have a Trump flag outside of your house.
Yeah, so you trigger me, and I'm afraid of you, and I think that you're going to do something to me with your guns. I think that's not far outside of the realm of possibility.
I mean, they're doing that now, really.
They can't take your guns.
Yeah, they can't take your guns, but they're like...
Well, in certain states they can, actually.
Yeah. But they're basically telling you what to do based on how other people feel, really now. And I hate that so much. Like, you can't tell me what to do because person A feels triggered by what I'm actually saying or what I'm actually doing. Grow up. Grow some balls. Come on now.
The other problem I have with it is it's proven not to work. We already have red flag laws in Florida, and there was a shooting there last year.
Yeah.
By somebody.
The red flags didn't work.
They didn't work at all because they even had warnings about this kid that he was mentally unstable and that he was going to do this, and it didn't matter.
Wasn't he like not white? Wasn't he like I think like I kind of forgot his race, but I don't think he was white though.
I don't see color.
Well, they do, so why not?
It's very grown up of you, Chad. It's very, very nice.
Yeah,
you know what? I might have a white collar. You might have a blue collar. But that doesn't matter to me because I'm colorblind.
That is so bad.
Another Office reference in case anybody listening didn't know.
For not getting it. What are they talking about? Yeah, that's all I have. Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't keep up with this guy. He's usually for the left. I don't know if you saw his tweet that he put out that the left just went nuts over. No? Okay, so he put out a tweet that said, in the past 48 hours, the USA horrifically lost 34 people to mass shootings. On average, across any 48 hours, we also lose 500 to medical errors, 300 to flus, 250 to suicide, 200 from car accidents, 40 from homicide via handgun. Often our emotions respond more to spectacle than to the data.
Yep.
They did not like that. So he's not their fan. They're not fans of him anymore. But
Yep.
He's right.
yeah, he's not wrong.
Exactly.
I mean,
More people are killed in car accidents than actually like mass shootings. Like should we ban cars too?
yeah. I mean, and you could go further. What was that guy in New York City? He got that car and he ran into all those people and killed all those people in a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do at that point? You take away people's guns. There was a stabbing in China. This woman, or no, this guy, he killed like 50 people with it.
Exactly.
It was awesome.
And
I mean, it's not awesome, but he was awesome to be able to do that. I mean, he must have been really trained to be able to kill 50 people with a knife. It's not awesome that he killed people. Understand?
Poor choice of words, if I've ever heard them.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there was recently one yesterday. I think it was was it in Chicago? It was in one of the inner cities where they had someone kill 5 people with a knife recently. So taking guns is not going to do anything.
If you take the guns away, they're going to do it with a knife. Take the knives away, you're going to do it with a car.
Homemade bombs.
Yeah.
Bad people are gonna find a way to kill people no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah.
The percentage of people killed by mass shootings is so small, and it's amazing we spend so much time talking about it because it evokes emotion. That's why.
Yeah.
It's sad, innocent people died, and the media puts it out there to really invoke emotion. They don't put it out every time. Like I said, someone's killed in Chicago. They don't put it out there. Not unless you live locally, and even then, I don't know that they do that.
Yeah, there's every weekend there's 2 to 3 times more people killed in places like Chicago and Detroit than than mass shootings.
For example, Baltimore's like right there, especially the west side. Like how many people was killed there daily?
We couldn't find those numbers if we wanted to. And that's the problem with it.
Exactly.
Well, I did see the other day. I think it was the 200th homicide of the year, maybe in Baltimore.
Baltimore?
Yeah, just Baltimore.
Wow.
The other day, someone was found in there. I think it was in their vehicle with gunshot wounds, I believe. But yeah, it's crazy. Now another thing too that I just wanted to bring up on the topic of Trump's speech about this. One of the other points that he brought up was involuntary admittance into like psychiatric places. What are your thoughts on that? I think to me it's again with the red flag. I think it's a slippery slope.
Exactly. Are you a home to like society? Like how much of like a home you are to like people like around you?
My mind, because I'm just so obsessed with The Office, I just went straight to when Michael takes Meredith to the rehab center.
Oh
yeah,
my God, yeah.
He's dragging her.
Anybody listening to this that has not watched The Office, you're really just ruining your life.
Yeah, you're missing out on something that is the greatest TV show that has ever been made.
It is.
No, it wasn't.
It is.
Well, I'm joking. Yes, it was. Let's get come on.
But I think that's the same thing. It's a slippery slope, and we don't have asylums anymore.
No, we don't.
They're all closed down. In a way, I think that it would be beneficial to still have them, but only for people that are actual cases.
Wasn't the problem with there was so much abuse inside of them?
Yes. Yeah. And it was seen as inhumane.
There's still a lot of abuse in nursing homes and stuff. It's the same way. People just can't handle it.
Yeah.
People don't have the patience. Going back to the girl beating her dog or whatever, it's the same thing.
Yeah. It was seen as inhumane, and I think the fact of involuntarily having people admitted, I think was like against their will.
Yeah, I don't agree.
I
don't agree with that. Unless you can prove that there's you have to have evidence. You can't just say I feel this way.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this. You have to have facts. You have to have evidence that this person is seriously crazy.
Yeah.
And if you can prove that, if you can say, hey, look, he bought 3 AK-47s in the past 24 hours, and he's got all this stuff on his social media talking about wanting to kill people, and he's part of the white supremacist group, maybe you have a case. Maybe you can do it at that point.
Would you be able to do that? Would you be able to buy 3 like?
In Texas, you can.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
That wouldn't like.
Not in certain
throw up a
states.
flag.
Not in certain states.
Just the
Texas
fact,
is so
just the
open.
fact that your name comes across on the background
Yeah.
multiple times within 24 hours.
I don't think it matters.
No.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it depends on the state.
Yeah.
They set their own regulations based on that.
I mean, I think if you have all of that going for you, I don't think you should be able to buy it. I don't know.
Well, at that point, you should be detained. I mean, you should be arrested and investigated. And have a psychiatric test done to see that you're crazy. And at that point, maybe you are stripped of your Second Amendment right, and maybe your First Amendment right at that point. You've lost at the point where you're willing to take someone's life. You need to lose your rights. You don't have rights anymore because you want to take other people's rights away.
Well, that's what incarceration is.
Yeah.
Incarceration. As soon as you commit a criminal act, you're relinquishing your human rights.
Yeah.
Or not your human rights. Your civil rights. Yeah. So you're going to be locked up. You're not going to have freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Your freedom's taken away from you. Yeah, you can't vote. So you're stripped of all that. And you know that. Everyone should know that before they commit a criminal act. And, that's something that's got to run through their mind. And they either don't care or they've accepted it.
Yep. Well, that's all I had.
That's it?
Unless you guys got anything to talk about.
Yeah, one thing. People on social media this whole week totally pissed me off to no end.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah,
We both saw.
Because the amount of stupidity that was on there was ridiculous.
We tried to jump in and help you. I think we did fairly well.
Yeah, but some people just can't change their mind, and it's really sad. I just hate that, when a white person commit a crime, it is so horrible. But yet they won't talk about of just how much black males are killing their own race. But yet, God forbid, a white male kills somebody of color is big.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. That's ridiculously not fair at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And I just hate the double standard that we have set here.
Mm.
And it's really sad.
It shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't, but it is right now, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
I feel like from the media perspective, white males especially are the most hated in America.
Do you know how
By
many
far.
times I've seen
Not even a contest.
Exactly. Yeah. I've seen on my Facebook timeline that white males all bad, evil, white people this, white people that, white people this. I'm like, really? All the things to actually complain about white male being the worst thing to ever been made, really.
And two, the media makes you think. If that's all you watched, you would think that white supremacy is running rampant in the United States. They make it seem like it's a quarter of the population are white supremacists, which is not even close. It's a very, very small, minute percentage of the population.
There's much more Antifa members, which they don't even want to acknowledge that Antifa
exists.
It's terrible. They don't even see it as terrible anymore.
No, they think that they're fighting for the good cause now, which is insane. Yeah, but they would. That's the problem. The media is they're so hell bent on putting their narrative out there and making you think that the white supremacists are the biggest threat when they're a fraction of a percent of the population.
Yeah, it is.
So white guys it's okay for black people to be racist towards white people. So
hold on. Black people can't be racist towards white people.
Oh yeah, apparently they can't.
That's
what
they say.
I've seen, it's been really bad.
That's what they say.
I mean, what I've read and
They?
what people have
Oof.
said.
Man.
God, yeah, they, the media, they.
Yeah.
That's. Let me clarify that. Thank you for that. Yeah. So,
Wow.
that's how it is, which is ridiculous. I think
The thing is, I feel like
If you-
things will only just get worse, really.
it'll probably get worse before it gets better.
People are just so soft, just want to play the victim now. Like, now it's good to be a victim now. It just is.
Pretty soon, maybe the tables will turn tables, and the white people will be the victims.
No, that's never gonna happen.
It could. I mean, eventually there could be a white, same thing as your, like, the Black Lives Matter movement.
That's not gonna happen.
There could be a White Lives Matter movement.
That's
There could
not
be
gonna
they have the feminist movement. There could be a masculinity movement.
There already is.
Masculinity.
You never seen them? They I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's kind of the same thing. Masculinity movement or something. I don't know what they call it.
No, they
But
must
it's
they must not be doing too much. Never heard.
They're not. Well, nobody wants to cover them.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's a group of people that, dudes, that just say, it's not bad to be a dude.
It's
There's
not.
nothing wrong with it.
Here's the thing I don't understand. Maybe this is going to go too far, but transgender women or men, I don't know which is which anymore,
A transgender woman
is a man,
is a man.
that wants to be a woman. A
Yeah.
transgender man is a woman who wants to be a man.
Yeah.
So a transgender man
Yeah.
wants to be a man so bad. Most of them are feminists and they hate men. Why would you want to become a man if you hate men?
Because you wanna set the new standard.
Oh, I didn't know if you could answer that for me. I didn't know why you would want to become a man if
that's
you hate men.
that's the only thing I can think of. But
You try and put logic to things that's not
Yeah.
meant to be.
yeah, that's your problem.
Exactly.
You're trying to put logic into the liberal mindset, which is not liberal. Let me clarify that. Leftist mindset,
Yeah.
because liberals are
I can have a conversation with a liberal.
yeah,
usually.
liberals are at least,
I mean, I don't agree with them, but I can have a conversation with them. Leftists, I can't really even talk to because they're just so out
Let
there.
you talk. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they won't.
yeah. Liberals at least can present an argument,
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
not a very good.
somewhat coherent argument.
So that's all I've got.
Yeah.
You guys got anything? We've already gone pretty long.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, be sure to tune in every Friday for a new episode. You can get our audio versions on SoundCloud, Castbox, Podbean, Spotify. We have it on iTunes now as well, finally.
Yeah, just went up.
Yep. And you can see the video version on YouTube where we'll break out. We'll do a full video. We'll also break out into segments in case you can't take all the politics.
Or the the full hour.
Or the full time.
Full hour and a half,
If
whatever.
you can't just sit down and give us an hour.
Yeah, just do it.
An hour and 21 minutes.
Yeah, that's a long one.
Okay. Hour and 21 minutes still. Just give us an hour and 21 minutes.
All right, we'll be back next week.